evening, folks, and welcome. Tonight I am going to be setting up an ISBoxer team from scratch. And so bear with me because I'm doing it live. I may edit this down later to make it more usable for folks, but I thought I'd just go through the same process that I go through when I'm starting a new team, show you guys how it's done. Now, there's a couple of things that you might want to know, and I'm going to have these linked in the description. I'm not sure if the links are working right now as it is, but I'll make sure to go back and make sure the links aren't dead. But one of the things that you guys want to know is that, so I'm going to be starting from scratch, and that we're going to be starting in the quick setup window. I'm going to log into the game. I'm going to show you some picture-in-picture elements. I'll do the pass-through repeater and set up some socials. And then I'm hoping to run the Crypt of Nadoc's 26th anniversary to show you how it is all working. The links that I have here, I've got it for Lavish Soft, which sells ISBoxer, then ISBoxer's website itself. Then I've also got a link to the quick start guide, the Multiboxing EverQuest, and and then this is going to assume that you've gone through this quick setup wizard video that they have. And I also linked the playlist of all the videos that I use to learn what I know, and anything else. I suggest you check out Hammock Jay's channel if you haven't already, because he is an ISBoxer pro. So without any further ado, I've got the ISBoxer suite loaded up here, and you're probably used to this screen. You may have stared at it, but we're going to start with the wizard and quick setup wizard. That'll bring up this pop-up. We're picking EverQuest, of course. And click. And then if you went through those videos and set up, then the ISBoxer has discovered your tunes on your computer already. But I have done something a little bit different, because as you can see here, you can create a tune. And I have created just a tune for each one of my accounts, or an open slot without a tune name. And that way, if I want to switch between characters or personas or things like that, then I can be using the same setup for that. And I don't know, I mean, you can probably choose the characters, but this is just the way I prefer to do it. So there's all my characters, but I'm going to scroll down. And SSD 1, 2, and 3. I have 7 accounts, but SSD 1, and SSD is for my solid state drive. That's where I have EverQuest. And so see, it's pointing, I've got inner space pointing to that. Oops. Why did that all change? That is not what I want. So it just changed to Neverwinter instead of the what for some, because I think my push to talk is my middle mouse button, which is also my scroll, and I think I accidentally scrolled. SSD 1, and then you want to make sure that it is pointed to the right game. So see, I want it pointing to my solid state drive, EverQuest. I have another hard drive that also has EverQuest on it, but I don't want it to go to that one. So 1, 2, and 3. But you can pick your character names if you want to as well. That would work fine. When you name these, you can't use a whole lot of special characters. I try to keep it simple and use class names. This is going to be a mage, a druid, and a wizard. And then it comes up with this. Now these are my displays, or virtual virtually my display. So you can see that I have 3 different monitors here. And this is where you're going to want to choose your layout. So I like to use the video effects, the pass-through video effects. And so that means that I always choose a stacked layout. And doing a stacked layout means that they're sitting right on top of each other. And that way, when I capture anything from any game, it's going to be at the same resolution. It's going to transfer at the same resolution. So it's just going to look better. So that's my setup, is the stacked on display 1. And so there we go. They're stacked on, but I'm going to come back to this to show you something else special that I do with mine. And so I clicked next, and now I don't know if this makes a difference or not. The background FPS is set at 30, the foreground at 60. I always change mine. I go 150 for the foreground and 75 for the background. I know my computer can handle running it at that. So you want to max it to whatever your computer can handle, but word on the street is that you want that background to be at least 60 frames per second. Otherwise, you may have problems with autofollow. I never change the CPU. It's just hyper threading. And so I'm just going to do that. And now for my setup, I use hotkeys, but I also use my mouse. And so I want to make sure that basic broadcasting 1 through equals is clicked. Alt, Control, and Shift are all clicked. And I am going to enable an action bar overlay. This will allow me some mouse functionality as well, in addition to hotkeys. Now, this is also a good screen to know, because a lot of your shortcuts are saved here. So the general hotkeys, so toggling broadcasting mode on, key maps, activate next window. And so I've got that Control Shift 1. I have that, so that'll go to the next, that'll cycle through my different accounts. And I have that tied to one of my mouse buttons, so I can just cycle through in 1 click. As far as I can tell, none of this follow stuff works down here with EverQuest, but there's a way we can do it with the socials in-game that works just fine. So now I'm going to finish. And so now it's finished. Now before we go into game though, I need to go change my window layout because it's not exactly the way I want it. So I'm going to go over here and I am going to find my window layout. I'll find that one that I just clicked. It's Mage, Druid, Wizard. And so now I'm going to click on the region. And what I'm going to do is, because I have display 2 and 3 on either side, I am actually going to stretch the game over all 3 monitors. And then I move them back up. You might think I'm crazy, but I'll show you what that does once we get into game. So that's the way I want it. So now File, ISBoxer tells you to save it. But I also find you can go straight to exporting it. Export all to Interspace. Export successful. All right, and now it is a matter of loading up the game. Oh, why did it just do that? Give me just a sec, folks. I'm going to get up YouTube, make sure everything's working right. Alright, and I am back now. Let's see if you can hear me. Listen to see if you can hear my voice. Alright. And I am back now. Let's see if you can hear me. Alright, so it sounds like everything is working just fine. And so now to load up the game, you're going to go onto your toolbar. I don't know if it's showing up, but down onto your or your taskbar, I should say, you'll have that little arrow down in the bottom, and you'll find the inner space icon. It looks like a round target, red target. You right-click that, and it is going to pull up, and then you go to your character sets is what you want. And I'm going to go to that brand new one. Mage, Druid, Wizard, and you click on that. Now when I click on this, I am probably going to pause the game so that you don't see my account information, but basically what happens is I'm going to click on that. One account is going to load up, then I'm going to cycle through and I'm going to load up all of the accounts, and so I will be back once I do that. Alright, I think you can hear me while I'm doing this. Oh, that's supposed to be here. Let me change it to be right back instead. Okay, it's not really a break. I am here, but I am loading up the game, and I don't want you to see any more account information than I want that I can. Alright, I've got one account loading up, and as that one's loading up, the second account should pop up here in a second. Now, it depends on where you told ISBoxer where you pointed it, whether you pointed it to the launch pad or whether you pointed it to the exe file. I pointed it to the exe file. And what that means is that every patch day I have to run the patcher before I can use ISBoxer. Okay, I've got my second account is loading up now. Pretty soon I will turn my Be Right Back sign off. Right, the third one is locking in now. So pretty soon you will see, I think you're going to see, okay, so you can see that one, and then that one, and then that one. And so just one click of the button and I'm cycling through. Makes it pretty convenient. But then if I switch here, not saying anything. Hold on. Oh, I know what the issue is. All right, there we go. So now what you are seeing is you're seeing that game stretched across all 3 screens. So that's actually not one screen, that's 3 different monitors. The left and right side is a different monitor. And what you should also have, I'm going to go back to the game capture. All right, so on the first account that you suggested, that you put into ISBoxer, it will have this big black box. For now, all you have to do is right-click it. You can read what it says, but you can right-click it. And this box up here, this box is part of the ISBoxer functionalities. What we could do is use the hotkey to get rid of it for now. Control-Shift-Alt-G will get rid of it. And now in the upper left-hand corner, actually, let me go back to... Okay, so you can see up in the upper left-hand corner, you've got these 2 icons. The one on the left is your key maps, and that means that when you press buttons on your keyboard, it will do that thing on others, the ones that you set up. So we told it to do 1 through equals, we told it to do control, we told it to do alt, and we told it to do shift. So anytime I'm doing shift +1, control +2, 1, 2, 3, 4 through equals, it's going to broadcast to all 3 accounts. And so in theory, what we're going to be doing is setting up our socials in such a way so that when I press the button, all 3 of my characters do the intended action using EQ's socials to do so. That's the idea of it. And then I'm also going to, and so the other button is your broadcast button. And so if you click this, then every single tune is going to do everything that you do on the keyboard. And we will show you what that all means in a second. I turned it on now so that when I press Enter World, all 3 of my tunes will now be entering the world. So we're going to keep it on her for a little bit. Well, actually, we're going to keep it here on the display so that you can see me cycle through the different characters. Okay, so who is my maid? That is Origami. So remember, I turned that broadcast button on to press enter so they'd all enter. So here they all are. There's Origami, Zorgology, and Disastrophe. But since it's still on, they will all still move at the same... So if I press my right button, they're all moving right. If I go backwards, they all go backwards. Forwards, all forwards. And so as you can see, that's really dangerous. You don't want to have that on all the time. It can be very dangerous. But now that it's off, see, now I'm moving independently. Just the way I like it. Now, one of the downsides to my little system of spreading across 3 screens is that the game doesn't like it. So if I have something kind of close to the center, when I log, it'll put it in the very center. So I usually have to keep UI elements out of there or move them off every time I log in. So Zorigami is a 100 mage, Disastrophe is an 85 wizard, and Zorgology is a 103, I think, druid. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to set up a way to invite and auto follow. So what you see here, do you see down on my equal bar, I have invite already set. And the reason that I have invite already set is because well, I did some pre-setting. I just pulled it from the actions bar, just left clicked and held down until I got the invite key, moved it over to the equal. I am now going to, but I haven't done that on Zorgology. So I could do that, but I think I might have him be the leader. So I'm going to set up the social. There's the new social. And we're going to call this invite. All right, so just on each line, I put invite Disastrophe and invite Zorigami. Accept. And now I do not want Origin to be in that spot, so I'm going to take that out. And back to here. Wait, is this a social or is it? Yeah, okay, that's the button. So now I'm going to press equal. And that just invited Disastrophe to join a group and Zorigami to join a group. You can see down here, it says so. Alright, so now when I move over to this one, now you can see that on the actions bar it says follow. I left clicked and held it until it was in the equal. And now, and that one has follow going instead of invite. So press equal, and they both join my group. It's as easy as that. Now, Disastrophe is not going to be the leader. Zorigami is going to be the leader. So, oh, let me make her leader. Alright, so now that Zorigami is the leader of the group, let's see. Now I did some setting up socials. So I always have melee in number 1. Some of this I may switch around. I've been getting used to multi-binding for my higher levels, and so I may switch this setup a little bit, but for now it still works. So 1, I always have melee. 2, I always have the follow. And so the follow is on Disastrophes, or on Zorigami's is blank. It doesn't do anything. But when I switch over to Zorgology and right click it, you can see that I put pause 3, comma, space, slash TAR, space CORI. So that's going to target Zorigami with a short little pause, very short pause right after it, and then hit follow. You can leave the pause out of it and hit it twice, but I find it's like having that pause 3 in there, it's almost it almost always works. 70% of the time it works every time. Yeah, so then I have done the same on Disastrophe. And so now when I press the number 2, They both targeted me, and they are both following me. Woohoo! Isn't that nice? And the other thing that I've got is an assist button. So for Zorigami, the top one is blank, just in case I want her to be in another position. I can say who she needs to assist. But essentially, when I press this button, it's pause 3, pet attack. Then it's my mallow. Then it is my swarm pet. And then it is my... oh no, it looks like it is... Yeah, I don't know if I want it that way. I want it to be cast 3 first. And then maybe cast 2. 1. So since I'm typing numbers right now, I am going to turn off my key map. Because otherwise you notice my other characters started doing stuff, and that's because I was typing numbers. Okay, and so now, when I press that, my pet's going to attack, I'm going to mallow it, and then I am going to cast my first 2 spells. For the wizard, I've got pause 3, assist Zorigami, and then I've got her casting the first 4 spells, 4 spells in her lineup, but not twin cast. And Disastrophe is doing the same thing. I also have a second direct damage set up on number 4. But I don't have one for the druid yet, so I may just put the assist back in this, and just put that assist back on, because, well, let's see. What else could he do? He really couldn't do that much more. Might as well. Alright. So now I got the druid set up on 2 as well. Forgot to name it. Alright, and so now that I have all of those socials set up, I can also show you some more functionality that I have. So for this, I'm going to switch back to the display. So you can see the whole game now. Now the first thing I want to do is I want to make those 2 other monitors usable for UI space. So the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to use viewport. Now viewport is going to set me the view, the portal in which I can view the game. Alright, so I'm going to use the viewport command to set my normal monitor for the normal size. And then I'm going to create usable UI space on both of those other monitors. So the way I'm doing the math is pretty easy. This is a 2560 by 1440 main screen. And so that means that I know that I have 1080 on either side. All right, so viewport 1080, and then space 0, then space 2560, then space 1440, and now, as you can see, I now have either of my monitors on the side is just black UI space. Now they fixed it so if you have an ultra wide monitor, you can just leave it that big. But I personally like to have this black space here. You can kind of see that I already had it intended for this character with the way I have the UI set up. And I'm just going to leave it that way. Now some of the other things that I'm going to have set up, I don't have any of my like AAs set up correctly. It's just kind of out of the box set up right now. So don't look to me for doing anything impressive with my characters. Just very, very, very basic setup is what I'm doing. But I want to show you. So a couple of other things that I can do that will be pretty cool. So I want to be able to see these other two tunes and what they're doing and what they're casting and where they are. And, you know, a lot of people, when they use ISBoxer, they actually just create little small instances in the game. So they'd have two instances on the left of the game, and then it kind of, but I don't like it because it pushes the main game to the left side of the screen. I like to have everything in the center, but I do want to see those tunes. And so I'm going to use the viewport option to do that. And the way I do it is to Control Shift Alt G to pull up the UI. And then I'm going to go to the video effect. And then I'm going to be the viewer. So I am viewing, so I want to leave that as viewer. And what do I want to see? Well, I want to see SSD1 and SSD2. So I'm going to check that one first. And oh my gosh, what is that giant screen? Well, that is a copy of the game instance that's down below me. If I press Control, you will see that that is my Druid. But now I'm going to make this window very small. I know it's a super long game. Does that look right? This one is usually easier to resize because it's going to be the same size as the other. All right, and now are they working? They are working. Oh, I guess the wizard already had the viewport set up also, but not the druid. That's alright. So let me get his set up. Okay, so now I might go back so that you can see my full screen again, or the screen normally. Oh, this is strange. Okay. And now you should be able to see everything fairly normal. So now you won't be able to see my other tunes off on my other monitor, but I can. I got somebody attacking for some reason. Oh, I guess not. Why is it telling me to turn? Turn why? That was weird. The parser is... I am not attacking anything, parser. So strange. Alright, so let's go test this team out. So I've got, I think, the basics set up. We're going to go test it in the Crypt of Nadox. I should probably pull up some mercenaries. So I got a healer. And with this group, what do I want? We'll do a melee DPS. Maybe, let's start with melee DPS. That should work. 2 melee, 1 healer, mage, and a druid. I'm assuming that the mage pet is going to be fine as our tank. I should probably set myself as tank in this. Alright. Do I want... Oh, you know what? Before we go on, I should probably set up some other video effects for you guys to see. So this time I'm gonna, let's see. So let's say that I want to be able to deal with their individual spell bars. So now I'm back on the Druid here, and what I'm gonna do is pull up the UI. Control-Shift-Alt-G. Go to Video Effects, and now I'm not the viewer, I'm the source. So you pick Source out of that drop-down menu, because I am going to be the source of information that's going to be projected someplace else. And we are going to call this Druid Spellbar. Click Add. Now you won't be able to see it because it's off to the side on one of my monitors, but you'll be able to see it on yours. It pulled up this little box off to the left side of my screen, and this is sizable, so I'm going to pull this down to and set it up right in the corner of my spell bar. That black bar right up here, that is not a visible area. It's the green that you want to cover what you want to capture. So now I am capturing my spell bar. I'm going to save this. And I can Control-Shift-Alt-G and get out of here. Now I'm on the wizard. Control-Shift-Alt-G, pull up the UI. Again, I am a source. I'm going to be projecting my spell bar, so I'll call this Wiz spell bar. Click Add. That is going to pull this box up on the left side of your screen. Size this one up. Save. Save. Don't worry about this box yet. We'll get back to that in just a sec. Alright, now back onto my mage's screen. And now I want to use those spell bars on my screen. And so I am still a viewer. I click on this down, and now look, hey, there's the Druid spell bar and the Wiz spell bar. Add the spell bar, and it's going to pop up on the left side of your screen. As you can see, I pulled it over here. I'm going to set it right there. And now this box matters, because I want to use what is inside this green box. That's his spell bar. So this box right here, repeater pass-through, click that, make sure the red dot is on, press apply, and then save as. Alright, and then pick the wizard spell bar, add that. Shows up on the left side of your UI. I'm going to put it up here. I want a little bit of space between them, so I'm just covering up that black bar. Repeater pass through, apply, save as. Alright, and so now I have the Druid spell bar and I have the Wizard spell bar. I want to see if they work. Let's see. Yep, Druid just healed me. What can I do with the... I don't have anything I can do impressive with the mage, hold on, or the wizard. Okay, let's see. Yep, it's working. If it doesn't work, you probably don't have that pass-through repeater button clicked, or you forgot to press apply and save afterwards, and so it didn't save it, and so it's not working. But now that's working. The last thing that I want to show you is let's say that we made you click that overlay. So let's show you how that works. So you should have up in your left-hand side of your UI 4 green, well, they look like hotbars because that's exactly what they are. They are hotbars. And so I don't want the standard shift. What I want is the standard one, just the standard. And so I'm going to pull that in, and I can put that right on top of this, and look how those squares fit perfectly. You know why those squares fit perfectly? Because I resized my buttons. If you don't know how to do that, there's a way to do it in ISBoxer where you can go into their things and you can change the size and shape of these menu bars. That I think is a little more complicated than just right clicking and change size. And I find that 108 fits for my game. It also fits EverQuest 2. So at one point I ended up changing the standard bar size to fit EverQuest 2, and then I came back to EQ, and I didn't want to keep switching it back and forth, and so I just started upsizing the EverQuest bar to 108. But what I would say is whatever it came with default, just right click and change your button size until it fits in those squares. That will be the easiest way to go about it. But now you can see that I've got this overlaid. And so I have a couple of other things that I do here. So now this one that says egg, that's for the shallowing mission. So when I right click this, all of my tunes would send their pet to the egg and start killing it from the queen recluse. I don't really want this assist here. So, but 9 is, this is one of the ones that'll probably move at some point, but 9 is where I have my sit button. And I don't have it on this guy, so put that on 9. And it's on 0 here. That's not what I want. I do not want gate up. In fact, I don't want anything on the 1 through equals bar that could be hit. I don't want that W either. No, that's fine. Alright, so now they all have sit in that spot, so if I press 9, boom, they all sit. 9, they all stand. 9, they all sit. Yeehaw. Let's see, I don't want Wind of Malaise here. Don't want Summit Companion there. Let's see, I don't want Eradicate Magic there. No, I can't put the Mod Rod there. That's not a bad idea. Where is my Summon Modulation Rod? Here we go. So I'm going to summon Mod Rods. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the Mod Rod and I'm going to put it in 6. Alright, so now they all have it in 6, and so if I press the number 6, they'll all use their mod rods at the same time. But if I don't want to, so if I right click, they will all do it. If I left click, just I will do it. That is something that is, I don't know if it's set up as default in the ISBoxer or whether I set it up many years ago. If it's not acting the way you want it to, join the Discord for ISBoxer, and they would be more than willing to help walk you through it. They've been very helpful to me. Okay, so now you can see. So here, I'm using my mouse, and now left click, I sit down. Left click, I stand up. But if I right click, we all sit down. Right click, we all sit up. Right click, we all sit down. Left click, I stand. I sit. So that's pretty much it. Now, one of the other things that I'm going to eventually do, these are a fairly high level group right here, is, am I in the Rivervale area? I can't remember. Where am I? I think it's over here. One of the things that I'm going to do is I will set up my burn so that everybody's burning at the same time as well. You know, I want to set it up so that I can capture on the Alt and the Shift and the Control, like some of the, I want to layer some of the burn buttons or swarm pets, those kinds of things. Alright, so wait on my guys to come in. Everybody's here. So see, I have my map always up, but it's just on my other monitor. It's also a nice thing about spreading the windowed mode out to another monitor is having, so I can watch my other 2 tunes on that monitor. I can also have my map up. I can have my inventory up. I can put the loot window on another one. I can have my chat windows. So that's how I am able to have so much nice real estate here. And then Zorgo is my guy. Alright, I got it. And now all of them are going to target Driesel. And now I'm going to hit that repeater in the upper right hand corner. And now they're all going to be doing the same thing. So now, since they've got him targeted, I can do / say ready, and they'll all go in. But you have to remember, as soon as you zone, to click that off, or mayhem ensues. Up, see, I got it turned on right now. I need to change the color scheme. Mages are orange, and I've got in my color scheme. I don't know why. I guess fire. But wizards need to be a different color. So like when I'm switching back and forth here. Yeah, I need to change that now. Oh, I've got 3 viewers right now. You 3 viewers. What color is a wizard? Come on, participate in chat. What color is a wizard? Here, let me ask Gil. I'll do the repeater trick so you can see how fun this is. Let's do all 3 of my team. So there you can see that like all 3 of them said it simultaneously. That's fun. Silver. Light blue is what Basics 1972 says. I see. I've got enchanters and bards as light blue. Silver for a wizard. But the only thing they have that's silver is white. And white is clerics. Gold is paladin. Amazement was purple. I'm liking purple. So if you don't know how to change these, you go right click any window, you go to background, you go to, if it's, you might have to do texture to get this flat surface, but then you can go to tint color. Come over here, start with dark blue. Add red, that's 127 purple, 127 blue. Let's make it even. We'll do 120. And 60. Yeah, that's good. I like that better. See, now I'm not going to get confused. All right, so we're in. We're in. You guys following me? They are following me. Gnomes sometimes can't make it up the stairs here. Oh, halflings made it. That's nice. Well, moment of truth, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, he's on me. So, number 3. Oh, I should see if these are all working. Let's see if 4 is doing what I need to do. Looks like it. There we go. Let's see. 0.272. That's bollock. I thought this was a XP weekend. What the wizard get? 0.24 for the druid. And no telling on the wizard. Why is that fighter fighting? There he goes. If you see my damage meter up, I don't know if you can see my damage meter or not. I think you can, because I think I've got it on display. So that is EQ log parser. If you just do a search, you can find it. It's free. This is much slower than on my 130s. That's funny. I thought it'd be faster. And the XP is not... Oh, well, that was 0.5% on that one. Better. Yeah, the wizard's messed up right now. There we go. Those mercs didn't like to be in there attacking with it so slow. So, is this against the rules? Well, according to Daybreak, they do not endorse any third-party software. They can't endorse any third-party software. However, the way I am using this software, it does not break any of Daybreak's rules, meaning I am not automating in any way. I am not sending the game any commands that I couldn't be doing myself. As you saw, I built the socials just the way EverQuest wants you to build socials. And I just put them strategically in the same spot. So, Hammock J very openly plays. He's one of the EverQuest top streamers. And he has never gotten dinged. And so I don't think it is against the rules if you're using it honestly. And I don't even know how to use it dishonestly. I'm sure there are ways that you could. But if it's against the rules, I am sure that at some point Daybreak will give me a 7-day suspension. And if they do, I will never use it again. But so far it's been 7 years and counting. I've made it through series of ban waves And so this thing is legit. I have screenshots of devs saying they fixed EQ so that ISBoxer will work again. This is from devs, EQ, not ISBoxer, not Laversoft. So it seems like as long as you are not running scripts, as long as you are just using the socials that are provided in game, you're fine. Now on a TrueBox server you can't use it. But you wouldn't even be able to load up multiple accounts on a TrueBox server. Just a view again of what it looks like across all three monitors. So another thing that you can do, and I've done this before, you notice that I just captured the whole window and kept the proportions the same. You can also just create an element and, capture just like a small central square. So you don't even, there's no reason to have the whole screen. I could just capture the 2560 by 1440 area, or I could even capture just like a small square around the tune itself. If you've got a big enough monitor, you could if you've got two 27-inch monitors on either side, in theory you could actually also just do pass-through repeater, and you could direct all tunes through that one element, that one pass-through video. There would be some lag, so I don't think that would be necessarily perfect if you were clicking on, if you were using your mouse. If you were using the hotkeys, it'd be much faster. Currently, I am mostly in Crypt Hunter gear. I may have a few Death Seeker as well. I've got the Soul Catcher ear hoop, which is best in slot for level 100. So with my see, I've got a red pet. It's really cool. Now obviously I don't have this set up for maximum efficiency. I was just starting this team so that I could show you what we could do. I don't even think I buffed with the druid, did I? And so see, I'm on my major screen. And I can buff. There's my damage shield from this screen. Didn't have to switch. There's 3. Everything goes in. I was kind of hoping with this XP weekend that the XP would be flying in here. Well, that was 1.3 is what I got for that. I guess it could be worse. Now the nice thing is, see, now I'm on my wizard screen. I can still press 1 through equal, and they'll keep doing what I need to do. But this will be nice if I want a mana burn from this screen. Let's take on this named. Yikes, he's pretty close to those other ones. I hope we're cool. I think my druid's got me targeted. Oh, there they are. That's bad. Okay, they have the right thing targeted now. This may be a good time for host development. I think we're okay. Now, if you're wondering out there, yeah, love boxing when I played EQ. I ISBox every 2 years, played back in 99 to 2011. Yeah, I started boxing in 2001. And the reason I started boxing in 2001 is I had been playing I played a warrior for the first 10 levels. And it took forever. And when I realized at that time I was going to get nothing more than kick, taunt, and bash, I decided I wanted something with a little more skill involved. And so I switched to a druid because I'd been really impressed with the druid friend of mine who had helped me power level a little bit, and so I loved that druid, loved it all the way up until my 40s, and then I could not get a group to save my life. I always got, we'll wait for a shaman, we'll wait for a wizard, and so I realized, and I love soloing with it, and I really liked the utility of it a lot. But I just found that people did not want a group. And so I knew that tanks got groups easy, and I knew that clerics got groups easy. So I made a Shadow Knight and started boxing a cleric. And so it's been a long time. I've been with ISBoxer now for probably the last 7-8 years. But I wouldn't say that I'm an expert. Like, this is what I do when I solo. I would much prefer to be playing with my friends in the guild. Oh, I don't want to be up here yet. And so this is for me to get things done, and also to do like mercs and partisans that nobody else wants to do, to grind AAs when nobody else wants to do it. And it's kind of all in service to Zorgology. So Zorgology is going to have a persona with all 16 classes on it. And this is his druid. He's got he's a 130 Necro SK Cleric, 120 Paladin. And this is a 103 Druid. So if you are going to try to box people out there interested in this, I would say that I find a caster group is the easiest to control, because you're not worried about, like, I would say put a mage in your group and have, I hope you like mages. If you don't like mages, Necro. If you don't like Necros, Beast Lord. But I would let that be your leader. Then the other classes, I would say a shaman should be one of the other classes, and then it becomes debatable. But as far as like controlling your group, I think mages, necros are much easier to control while boxing than an actual tank is. Well, it's just you're worried about more stuff. Like, as you can see, I'm not that worried about positioning right now. I just need to make sure that I'm in line of sight and I'm good to go. But once you add a melee character, it gets tricky. If you do have a melee character, I suggest you start with just one. The Bee Sword is a good one because it's got that pet that can help you a lot. But a Shadow Knight, Paladin are going to be my second recommendations for. So first would be Mage, second would be Necro, third would be SK, fourth would be Paladin. I would put a Shaman with any one of those. In the third slot, I would do some sort of a caster, something where melee positioning is not a factor. You might think wizards are going to be the greatest in the world, but the truth is that the wizards are really hard to maximize in a box group, because you want to be watching for Gift of Mana, you want to be kind of rapid fire casting, and then you want to be able to switch on the fly. And so it's good DPS. Like, as you can see, she's number 5. Like, what in the world? And that was with me having her go through all of those direct damage spells. But it's because I'm not able to like pay attention to the secondary effects and all of that kind of stuff. Mages are much easier to deal with. So I put this wizard in the group, well, basically because I didn't have anything else I wanted to put in with this. I wanted to level up the druid. I want to level up this mage. Eventually, Disastrophe is already a 130 mage. Soragami is 101. And Zorgo is a level 1 mage. And I haven't decided whether I'm going to level him up from scratch or whether I'm going to do a boost on him. But eventually, I want to have like a 3 mage team, because I think it would be I started with 1. If you go back and look at some of my other ISBoxer videos, I've got Amazement's team. I was trying to level through TBM, though, the Broken Mirror, and that was problematic, to say the least. So at about 85, 86, I gave up on that 3-box mage team and switched one of them out for an enchanter and one of them out for a wizard. I wanted to be able to port. I didn't realize that the wizard wasn't going to have maximized DPS at the time, and I knew I needed the crowd control. And at that point, I joined Chamber of Chaos. And that team kind of went away through a series of adventures. So I'm kind of trying to bring it back, because now that I know what I'm doing a little bit more, I think that I can make a 3-box mage team work really well. This is taking an incredibly long time. If I switch to my SK team, we'd be done in about 20 minutes. So my favorite team to play is an SK, a Bard, and a Shaman. And I'm pretty good at it. As long as it's the right zone, and I'm not trying to bite off more than I can chew. I do pretty well. But the Shaman and the Bard are not maximized by any stretch of the imagination. The Bard is just singing buffs because I'm scared to, because targeting is like, it can be really dangerous with the Bard if they end up, singing the wrong song. Oh man, went right for Disastrophe. Took her right out. Poor wizard. And the Bard in that SK Bard Shaman team is almost never in melee position. I'm getting better at getting her positioned, but just not. The Shaman is always going to cast Mallow and Slow on incoming. Mostly there for the buffs. I can throw out some group heals, and I can, hit a button, put a series of dots on. And that works out pretty well. But it's mainly those two are just making the Shadow Knight unstoppable. So we need a med break. No Basic says normally was an SK Cleric, Enchanter, Wizard, Mage, and Bard. That's pretty cool. That's kind of the direction that I'm headed for, is to get my socials and AAs in better shape and have them working better. I've noticed that outside, I can have issues in current content missions because I'm not very efficient with how I've stacked the AAs. And basically relying on my SK to be tanky enough that Zorgami and Disastrophe die by the end of it, but the Shadow Knight lives. I call that a win. But I know that if I get my social set up better, then I'll be able to do more. I'm fairly amazed. Like it's the healing that I feel like I want to get my SK set up with a mash key and have my cleric set up with a mash key. So as I'm mashing life taps, the cleric is mashing heals on me. And then I could probably do a full 6-box group. But it seems not very mana efficient. And shrink your testicles in the wrong conditions. I'm going to clear out this room and then I'm going to call the stream good, since I was really just trying to start up an ISBoxer team from scratch to show people how I did that. And I'm not sure that the 26th anniversary is all that exciting to watch. Why is my pet not getting aggro? There we go. Oh, the druid did the most of the damage there. Good for you, druid. The druid is in mostly death seekers. Disaster V is in crappy heroic. Hey, thanks for watching. I'm glad you joined. It was good to have somebody interacting too. That was that makes it nicer to stream. Not a lot of dead time. Alright, so ladies and gentlemen, there you go. There's my modern tutorial on how to create an ISBoxer team from scratch and get it operating and running. Costs $50 a year. I think it's well worth it. They are great guys. Join them over in their Discord and they will help you with all of the things that I didn't. But check out those links in the description. If they're dead links, I'm going to fix that description in the morning to make sure that they're live. And go to their site, watch their videos, like and subscribe, yada yada yada. Watch Fezzlewig's forums on the weekends. He does group content. On Wednesday, we do a progression raid on MMO Hippie's channel and Fezzlewig's forums. And I will be streaming tomorrow night. Not sure what I'm going to do. It may be another night for a naked monk in a Jan's Veil. But if I can get a group together for the last night of XP, I might like to do that as well. So take it easy, folks, and we will see you next time.